Hello. For my major project 3, I'm continuing the research I started in my first two projects. My research question is, how do games with complex tasks and direct instructions create the same sense of reward and accomplishment as games that rely on player discovery and freedom? I'm mainly using Subnautica as my case study because it's the game that originally made me interested in this topic, and I'll also compare it to games that rely much more on direct instruction, like Halo, maybe. To see how both approaches can this is also I can see how both approaches can still create rewarding experiences for the players. Right now I've started writing my research essay. So far I've been focusing on comparing discovery based games like Subnautica with games that use more tutorials and objective markers. One thing I've realized while writing is that I don't think one approach is necessarily better than the other. I think they just create that feeling of accomplishment in different ways. For my final paper, I'm planning on expanding this by adding more sources and spending more time comparing Subnautica with games that rely more on direct instruction. I haven't started building my Twine game yet, but I have a pretty good plan for how I want it to work. The player is going to wake up after crashing on a planet or wake up stranded on an island, and their goal is going to be to, if they're on an island, let's say, their goal is to repair a boat and escape the island. Very early in the game, they'll be making choices that send them down one of two paths. One of the paths is going to be much more guided, and the player will find a guide that gives them clear instructions where to go, what to do, and how to escape. And that will represent games that rely more on tutorials, quest markers, and direct objectives. And the other path will remove most of these instructions, and instead of telling the player exactly where to go, the game will rely on environmental clues. For example, instead of saying go to the beach, the game might describe smoke rising in the distance or footprints leading into the woods, and let the player decide what to investigate. This path is meant to feel more like Subnautica. Even though the two paths are different, they'll both lead to the same ending. That's important because I'm not trying to argue that one style is always better. My goal is to show that both types of games can create the same feeling of accomplishment even though they guide the players in different ways. And right now I'm using the same three sources that I worked in my first two papers or projects, and I'll be adding 5 more sources because you need 8. But most of my research is focusing on tutorials, environmental guidance, and how games teach players through gameplay. So that's where I'm at so far. My next step is going to be to build this Twine game and then just find more sources and expand on my essay a little bit more. Make some more comparisons between Subnautica and direct instruction games. And I'm looking forward to what you guys think. Thank you.